What's up, everybody? Today we're gonna talk about a traditional diet, how it changed back in the day to now. All right. So, in this episode, I'm gonna describe how people's lifestyle have been changed. It's kind of more cultural type lessons, Punjabi lessons, but I'm gonna also teach some kind of vocabulary in that, right? And that's why you need to basically listen this podcast. Even it's going to be mostly in English, all right? You will learn some vocabulary, and you would also learn about a Punjabi culture, all right? And you would also see what kind of differences we can see in Punjabi culture nowadays if we compare it back in the day, all right? So when it comes to the lifestyle, all right, a lot of lifestyle of Punjabi peoples have been changed, right? Even they're still living in the villages. What I can see the difference, and because of that, they have like a big deficit in the protein intake, right? And because of that, they are being more skinny fat, all right? So those kind of reasons I'm gonna talk about in this episode, all right? A lot of people says it is because most of the population in Punjab are vegetarian. That's why they can't like get their enough protein. This is not the true. Honestly, this is not true. That's what I'm gonna tell you. Like how you can get protein when you are basically a vegetarian, right? So even the back in the day, Punjabi people were vegetarian mostly. And I think we are not the vegetarian like the people in the West. They are like those people who are the vegan or vegetarian, it's kind of religion, like they never eat. Mostly Punjabi people, they're just vegetarian because that's how they eat mostly at homes, all right? It doesn't mean they're not gonna eat like the like meat or stuff like that. They eat meat maybe once a while or something like that. While most of the diet is kind of vegetarian. All right, so how people not getting enough protein nowadays because they don't own cattle anymore, all right? So cattle mean in Punjabi is pasu, all right? So in this, it could be a cow, it could be a goat, it could be a buffalo, all right? So cow means in Punjabi is gaa, and buffalo means maj or mass, all right? And they have a few more names, like if it's a junk cow, it could have different names. So I don't want to talk about those, but sometimes we use. But yeah, keep in mind cow means ka, and buffalo means a mud or mass. All right. So in my area, mostly we say mass, but also there are a lot of people say mud as well. So yeah, back in the day, people used to keep a cattle, especially cows and buffaloes. And nowadays they don't. Even the villages back in the day, like 30 years ago, almost everybody has a cattle. Everybody has a cow or buffalo to drink milk or to eat like a dairy products, all right? But nowadays it's just like a huge difference. Maybe less than 50%, maybe 30 or 40% people own the cattle nowadays. All right. So because of that, people not getting enough protein. Now, probably you think why? Why they can buy it, the milk or stuff like that. That's what I'm gonna basically explain. Why is that? So basically, okay, milk means in Punjabi, a lot of you guys dud. All right. So and yogurt means like a dahi. All right. And cheese means paneer. All right. And ghee means some people say like ghee, some people say kyau. Like in my video, we say kyau. So it means a ghee. All right. So anyway, now question is why people stop like why they stop keeping animals, like, right? So because the lifestyle changes, a lot of people, they just want to own it because you have to basically put effort to keep. It's a little bit hard work to keep cattle. And another thing they say is expensive, all right? But it's not expensive actually. And by the way, an expensive word in Punjabi, that's we say manga, right? Manga means expensive. So it's not expensive, but if it's not expensive, why they say expensive? All right. So this is the point I'm gonna explain. So they say expensive because when they own a cattle, especially cow or buffalo, they have to feed basically. And feed is expensive nowadays because back in the day, a lot of farmers grow their own feed for cattle. They still grow like some grass or stuff like that, but there's another kind of feed. It's kind of like a oil from it. It just made from the mustard oil. That's called khal in Punjabi. Khal is a cattle feed for cows or buffaloes. All right. Mostly nowadays, people don't like grow that. They just buy it because of that. It's a little expensive, and and when they sell the milk, they didn't get enough money off the milk. All right, and there's some people still doing it, and they have like a more cattle. Like if you own like a 2 3 cattle to drink milk, and people say it's so expensive. Some people made a business. They have more cattle, 10 20, and they get some kind of profit. All right, and the problem is they're not that expensive because mostly the people who own the cattle, they use the milk like a 8 or 7 8 kilos at home, pretty normal. Like I own cattle, so we use like a 7 to 8 kilo milk at home. Some milk we just use for tea. Some milk we drink mostly. Personally, I drink like 1.5 liter milk in a day every day, and 1 kg yogurt every day, right? And some kind of paneer. Paneer means like a cheese or something like that. So yeah, that's how we use a lot of milk at home. And when you own a cattle and you drink that much milk, but compared to that, a lot of people who doesn't own the cattle, and when they buy a milk, they only buy like a 1 or 2 kilos. All right. If you are buying 2 kilos milk or 2 liters milk, all right, basically you're using less milk. So definitely it's going to be cheaper. All right. But it's cheaper. And how you're using these milk? Only for making the tea. That's it. Maybe you drink a 1 little glass at night time milk. All right. Now basically you reduce your diet, and you're saying that's cheaper. That's cheaper to buy a milk instead of keeping the cattle. All right. That's why people say it's cheap. But if you want to buy a milk like a 7 or 8 kilos, you basically need to use or eat or drink back in the day, then it's not expensive. All right. Then basically buying the milk 7 to 8 kilo is going to be expensive compared to the people who just own a cattle and they use their own milk like a 7 and 8 liter milk. All right. So you got the point. That's why it's cheaper, people say, to buy a milk. It's cheaper to keep cattle at home because they don't buy enough milk. All right. So because of that, they don't get enough protein because this was the only source of people's protein. All right. That's why they're getting a lot of problems. All right. Problem meaning in Punjabi is samasyama. All right. Single problem, samasya, plural, samasyama. All right. So don't get me wrong. There are a lot of people who didn't own a cattle. Not probably a lot, but very few who didn't own a cattle, but they're getting enough protein. Maybe, and because maybe they know about the nutrition, they are basically getting their protein from like some milk or dairy products, some eggs, maybe from the meat. All right. But I'm talking about an average Punjabi person, right, who just used to eat a normal vegetarian diet, but when they just got rid of the milk from them, milk, yogurt, stuff like that, they are not getting enough protein, all right? And they don't even know it. They don't know what's wrong with them, all right? They don't know about the nutrition, all right? They're just eating rotis, drinking tea, that's it. And maybe they're eating some kind of like a little bit of vegetables or like or lentils. All right. So basically, a vegetable in Punjabi, sabjiyan, lentils, daਲਾਂ. All right. So yeah, that's what they're doing. And because of that, a lot of people are skinny fat nowadays. Even I see some like guys in the gym, they say they can't build up muscles. When I ask them what's your protein sources, right? They say nothing. Like they just drink maybe 2 glasses of milk, which is like a half a liter, and that's it. They eat rotis, some kind of lentils. If you calculate their like a protein intake, it's gonna be hardly like a 50 to 60 gram. All right, so you can't build a muscle. But yeah, if you are just one living the sedentary life, a little bit of walk and stuff like that, probably that time it's 60-gram protein is enough, right? But if you want to build the muscles, it should be at least like a, if you like a weigh like a 70 kilos, you should eat like at least like a 140 grams protein to build muscles, all right? So if you want to get that much protein, you need to drink a lot of milk, or maybe you separate your protein in different foods. Eat some kind of eggs, some kind of like a chickpeas. Chickpeas has a lot of protein. You can eat some kind of soya bean, some kind of yogurt, milk, right? Or if you can eat meat, some kind of maybe fish or chicken, whatever you. That's how you can get like your protein. Personally, I get my protein like easily 150 gram is just from like milk. I drink a lot of milk. I already told you, right? 1.5 liter and 1 kg basically a yogurt, all right? And I also eat chickpeas. I used to eat eggs. The reason I don't eat eggs, because mostly when you buy eggs, they're not good. I don't know why. Maybe they keep the chicken on the one place, something like that. I don't feel like good. But if I get like an egg from somebody who keep the chickens, or we say like these, chickens at home, their eggs are much better. I don't know why. Maybe their chickens are free or something like that. That's better. But that's why I don't eat eggs much. Just sometimes I do here and there. Mostly my protein from like a yogurt and milk. That's it. And and chickpeas. So, and definitely roti has also some kind of protein, but it's incomplete. But if you are eating roti with like a yogurt, you still get pretty much complete proteins. All right. So you can also use some kind of protein as well. Just buy some kind of protein and use some kind of protein in that. All right. So my point is, a lot of people, when I see, even there are a lot of fitness coaches and nutritionists, they say if you are vegetarian, you are not getting enough protein. It's not about the vegetarian. It's about the amount you need to eat protein back in the day, because you own cattle. You are not selling milk. You are using all the milk at home mostly. Yeah, maybe you sell milk a little bit. But nowadays, people, even I see some people who own the cattle, they're using for just business. They are not eating enough milk or yogurt, all right? And because of that, they are facing a lot of health problems. So if you are Punjabi listening to this podcast, make sure you take your protein, all right? Definitely, it's not only about protein. Yeah, definitely you need to hit your all macros, all right? Protein, fat, carbs, vitamins. How would you know it? You can basically use any kind of like there's some apps you would basically know how much like a protein or vitamins you are eating. Just track them and just live healthy lifestyle. That's it. And also aware other people, like your family member or other people. And mostly in Punjabi culture, I think protein is the main reason they are not getting, because they're eating vegetable, they're getting the vitamins, all right? And they are getting the fats, they are getting the carbs, all right? They are getting the minerals. Maybe here and there they don't. Oh, another thing, another vitamin they don't get enough is vitamin D. A lot of people just stay inside nowadays. And if you are not outdoor guy, you need a vitamin D, basically, maybe a supplement, or just go outside in the sun, all right? And a lot of people who live in Canada, like where you don't get the sun, and you basically not getting enough vitamin D, especially in the winter. And another thing is Punjabi people's skin is kind of brown. It's hard to get get vitamin D when like it's a little cloudy. Yeah, white skin is easy to get sun, easy to get vitamin D even the sun is not that like bright. All right, but for you, you definitely need some kind of sun. Or maybe if you are not getting the sun, maybe you need to take supplement of vitamin D because it's very important for your bone and even for your testosterone. Oh, by the way, bone mean in Punjabi is haddi. If you want to use it plural, like a bones, is haddiyan. All right, keep in mind. So anyway, make sure you get enough protein from different sources. If you're just a normal Punjabi guy who doesn't know much about this kind of stuff, if you're getting like if you add like a half a liter milk and half a liter or half a kilo yogurt, you're good to go. If you're just a normal person who do some kind of like office work and do little walking, little bit like a gym. Basically, you're not going to the gym for building a muscle. You're just going to there like a for some kind of movements, right? So I think it's enough. If you're eating some kind of rotis, all right, you definitely get a little bit of protein from rotis. You are getting some kind of protein from like lentils, and definitely when you drink milk and when you eat yogurt, you get good amount of protein, and then you're good to go. If you're getting like a 60-gram protein as a normal guy, I think that's enough. But a lot of people don't get; they just get like a 23 or like a 30, something like that. All right, a lot of people are like that. Um, Definitely, it's a big problem in India. Not that much problem in Punjab because in India, a lot of people they just don't have like a milk. They just eating the rice stuff like that. But I can see this kind of trend is also going on in Punjab because of they're not interested in owning cattle anymore, and they don't even wanna spend money on like a milk or like dairy products. All right, so that's the reason. They think it's cheap, but they are forgetting it's not healthy. All right. So make sure you keep the cattle. If you can keep the cattle, and buy more milk or dairy products. All right. If you're a vegetarian, definitely if you are omnivore, then buy whatever you want. Right. So that's it. Anyway, and then just let me know. Did you like this podcast? It was mostly in English. I talked about mostly about Punjabi culture, how it's been changing, and yeah, I basically told you some kind of vocabulary. Did you like it or not like it, or you want me to explain more Punjabi like a vocabulary when I pick up a word and explain it, or you also like this kind of stuff as well? Let me know in the comments.